Thinking about all this reminds me of a scene I saw a few years ago. I once was standing up on a stage preparing for a talent show for my choir. Hours before it began, before anyone arrived, I watched a boy, probably a sibling of one of the performers, step into the dim spotlight. He sat down at a grand piano in the center, and as the light sharpened around him, he raised his hands to the keys and played the first note, then the second. Every following note suddenly came crashing together, crashing less like an ocean wave and more like a freight train. No consistency, no discernible melody, only endless variation. A bit faster paced, and it can only be described as a tantrum. This harsh dissonance caused my ears to shrink back in discomfort. There was nothing for them to latch onto, nothing to follow. The boy looked as if he was quite enjoying himself. Didn't he know how unpleasant his playing was? He had ears. He'd heard what good music is supposed to sound like, and yet there was a sad, proud glow in his eyes during the performance. And as he continued, a smug smile crept along his face. As I watched the rest of this unsettling event play out, I heard something that caught my ear. Despite the cacophony, through the chaos, I heard a faint sound that my mind seemed to sway itself towards. While barely audible, the sound was unmistakably that of a chord emanating from another piano. It was sweet, and as such, it stood out from the erratic noise from the stage. I heard it again from behind me, so I turned to the curtain at my back. It was a little louder then, and as the minor chord rolled through the fingers of whoever was playing, the chord crystallized until it finally shattered into a blossoming major. I walked up to the boy, and he stopped playing. "Hey, why are you doing that?" I asked. He chirped back, "It's actually my own original song. I just play notes for the sake of the notes, you know? Music for music's sake. I mean, who makes the rules anyways?" Now, thinking back, I think he may have said more than he realized. The notes this child played, disconnected and dissonant as they were, he played for their own sake. I can't imagine that his performance would be tolerated as actual good music. He'd likely be kicked off a real stage for his artistic tantrum. But it was beautiful to him, wasn't it? Is that all that really matters in the end? The meaning of his work was that it didn't have to have any kind of real meaning. It was just notes for notes' sake. Symbols for symbols' sake. So what if the symbols don't harmonize to symbolize anything coherent? Can't they just be enjoyed for their own sake? Who's to say banging my fist on a piano isn't just as meaningful as Mozart? Who makes the rules?